Welcome back, guys, to another episode. In this episode, we are continuing the book The Power of Concentration. But it's getting more interesting. Why? And now, the concentration is being attached to the next part of our life. That's the name of the chapter is called Concentration Can Overcome Bad Habits. Now you understand we're going to talk about our bad habits. Your habits, my habits. We have so much bad habits. Right now I'm having a bad habit of overcoming my laziness. So we all have habits. Some of them are like using bad words, getting excited, overexcited, or reacting in a bad way. So what we have to do is we have to learn to control them. Now, a lot of people say that how can we control them? Actually, you're right. We cannot control them. We have to overcome them. How do we overcome a bad habit? We have to mask them. But how do we mask something with some other thing? We have to create something better on top of it, only then that can be suppressed. So, in short, what the writer is saying, habit is a far powerful enemy. Means sometimes our own habits can destroy us. Procrastination, laziness, anger, reaction, aggression for nothing. All these are bad habits. Most of the time we think it's our nature. We start saying, oh, he's a naturally aggressive person, or he reacts like that. No, these are habits that we have created over the period of time, and these can be overcome or changed very easily. Now, writer is not just mentioning or pinpointing us, okay, you have these capacities in a bad way. He is very intelligent to tell us that how to overcome those things, how to change them. Now he says, you are free to form a habit that you wish. Obviously, as a human, we wish to overcome our bad habits. That means we are free to do that. Again, the next point that attaches itself with the word free means that attaches itself automatically with our will that we have been discussing. WILL in capital words. Will means our power. So whatever we wish, we can do that. That means our bad habits can be destroyed easily if we will to do that. We wish to do that. So, we must make our nervous system our ally instead of enemy. That word triggers me, my personal favoritism. Why? Which word? Nervous system. Because till my graduation, I was a medical student, and that is one of my weak points because I have studied that part. So whenever something relating to medical or psychology, that triggers my excitement as well. So that means our whole body, our mind, our brain is our ally, but we have made it our enemy. The writer is saying we should make this nervous system, means this brain plus our spinal cord, all the nerves that control our being, the physical being, not the divine being, the physical being, that should be our ally. Means, for example, if I react to something all of a sudden, someone says to me something and I start changing my reactions, I start getting angry, I start getting excited, I should be controlling these emotions. I should be the one dictating my nervous system to tell me or my body how to react, not the impulses by the situation. If you are telling me something, for example, if you give me a bad comment, I should not be impulsive to react on that the way you want. I should be telling my nervous system I will react to that person how I want, not an impulsive reaction. So that means I will make my nervous system, my reactions in my control, my friend, not my enemy. Because if I'm impulsive, sometime I am, that's the honest truth. So if I'm impulsive, I'm gonna be falling into someone else's trap, what they want me to do. So I have to make this system, this body, the physical aspects of everything my friend. Means if it is my friend, it will act according to my commands and always in my favor. What is best for me? Now, the writer says a very important point, that you are not stronger than your habits, because habits control us if they are not in our control, or they are not built in a friendly way, in a positive attitude or non-impulsive way. Habits define our character, because what we do impulsively, unconditionally, automatically, that is what defines us. People judge us based on that response. Okay, if I just aggressively respond to something, people will start saying, oh, he's naturally aggressive, he responds naturally. They already have predicted my attitude, my behavior. So what happens, if they want to play me, they can easily do that. Or they want to change your behavior, or they want you to act in a certain way, they can easily control you and your surroundings just by mere words, not even changing the situations. So we are strong as much as we are having control of our habits. So what he says, the stronger the will, the easier it is to break the habit. Now here you should understand the difference between will and your current habits. Will is used to change your habits. Habits are already developed inside you. They are not your willpower, what you are doing, how strongly you are doing. Will is the thing that you have to use from your inner self, from your core, to change those habits. And once you are stronger enough to control your inner self, you can easily change whatever you wish to in yourself or from your nervous system. But all depends on motive. You have to start understanding what is the motive of changing a certain habit or adopting a certain habit. One bad habit cannot be changed if you don't have a motive, or it is covered by an alternative habit. First, you have to understand what is my motive. Based on that motive, you will start adopting a new habit, and that new habit will overcome the old bad habit. Again, I will repeat it. You have to have a motive, a reason, a direction to create a new habit. Once that new habit is created against an old habit, only then it can cover up the old habit, and then you will be able to use, based on your motive and will, the new habit. Hope that makes sense in an easier word. The next topic that the writer is discussing in this book is business results through concentration. Now, most of us think that we should do a business that should be successful, but just merely thinking is not going to get us there. We should all be doing something valuable in our life. But what if we are doing a business, but most of the things that we do is a form of business in our life? A lot of you are going to think if it is a money side of business, creating a company or something. No. Anything that you do with yourself, in my opinion, that's not the writer saying this particular line, in my opinion, whatever you make yourself do or in your life do, that is part of the business you do with yourself. So whatever you make of yourself or out of yourself every day, that's part of the business you do with yourself. So it's up to you how you want to make it a profitable business out of yourself, or you just want to be useless in terms of business terminology. But whichever kind of business it is, it's worldly business or a business with yourself. Now let's go to the writer's view. What he says is, a successful business is not a result of chance, and neither a failure of a business is a result of luck. So no business you see there is a chance or luck. Even if it's succeeding, it's not by chance. It's a very directed thought by the workers, owners, CEO, and professionals, people who are working on it. And if it fails, there is always a reason that you have not done something right. Only then. But we are very egoistic enough to blame it on something outside us. We are damn egoistic and so ruthless on ourselves that we don't want to accept the consequences and causes that it was done merely because we were not able to comprehend the situation rightly, and that's the reason it failed. So there is nothing by chance or by luck. We have to understand it is merely because we were not able to concentrate in a particular direction rightly. Now what the writer says is, desire must be materialized. Business success depends on well concentrated efforts. The effort, you can work like a donkey, like a labor, in an undirected way, just like a labor force. But if it's in a right direction with the right mindset, then that thought will be materialized in the physical form. That again brings us back to the power of concentration, the thought that we should have. The next part, he says, set your heart on purpose, direct your thoughts upon it. You do not have to know the exact direction. Now, we cannot predict the future. We should have the aim of the future. We do not have to now exactly ditto copy that this is what exactly has to be achieved in terms of the targets. What he is saying, you must have the will to move forward. As long as you have the vision, the direction, you keep moving forward with your will. You don't stop whatever happens. You keep achieving your target every day, every day, every day. You will reach your final destination. The next part, the writer makes it more interesting. Plan each day activity in advance carefully, and you can reach any heights you want. Means planning is very important. You cannot just wake up and say that I will be successful. In the next step, he further escalates it physically. Now he says that if you want your business, either it's your personal business or business with yourself or outside world, whatever you want to achieve in your business or whichever heights you want to take it to, you must in your mind first see that happening physically. You cannot expect a business that is running without a vision automatically happening. What happens in your mind with your thoughts, you have to see it happening physically. You have to visualize it. This is again the power of thoughts and power of visualizations. You have to see that how much target you have to achieve, which heights you want your business to go, what actually it will look like, what will be your bank balance, what will be the physical structure of your business, what will be the manpower of your structure. You have to visualize internally in your mind, in your thought process, in the matter of concentration, not randomly. Just like I am talking to you, I can visualize anything side by side, but that does not make it perfect. What happens is, again, as we discussed before, we have to sit down separately in terms of our concentration practice. Once we are sitting down in a separate place, manually, intentionally focusing on that part where my business should be, close your eyes and visualize it, and then see the effect. It will happen if you do it every day with that visualization. You will see your business going that way and materializing it in that form. The next chapter in this book is every man's favorite word, courage. So we all talk about that every day with our friend circle. Oh, he's a very courageous man. I want to be courageous. We talk to us ourselves about this word and this capacity and capability. But to develop this faculty in this side of our mindset, we have to work intentionally. Again, everything that we develop has to be intentional. Only then we achieve it. Rest is all a fallacy, all a dream world. So now the writer says, concentrate on your courage. Courage is the backbone of a man. The word, whenever you see the word from the very history, it is associated with man. I know a lot of you will be saying it should not be only facilitated with the simple pinpointing with a man, but in terms of literature, it is a capacity associated with men. Obviously, a woman can be courageous, a man can be courageous, but in terms of literary sense, whenever a word courage is uttered, you always associate it with a man. It's defined like that in the history, but in the modern world, it is associated with male and female both. Now here we should not be associating it with male or female. It is derived for both of the genders, for every human or any other gender that is associated there. It can be used for anyone as long as you are alive, human, having a brain working and going towards a goal. Now, how does it say that? It says, courage is the backbone of a man. Courageous man has confidence. He puts his belief in action. A courageous man does not mean he is ready to do anything or he is not afraid of anything. He puts his belief in action. He visualizes things, then he put that belief and thought process into action. He does not procrastinate. He actively endeavors the task to do in action. He believes that if he does a certain kind of action that he has visualized, he will achieve his target. He will be going through the hurdles, but eventually, because of those continuous actions, the steps that he is doing with the help of his courageous situation or mindset that he is putting belief into, he will be reaching that target. Now, the next part is very important. Look upon everything in your power as a possibility instead of probability. Most of the things are run in this world, especially nowadays, is based on probability. What we do mathematical calculations. We forget about the power of our brain, our nervous system, our mindset, our inner self. We totally rely on maths. What happens when we are totally relying on maths? That holds our courage, that stop us from taking some major step that we are capable of. But because of that mathematical calculation, of that probability factor, we stop ourselves. We do not take risk. You should know that how a man is defined. A man is defined by the risks he takes. Because if the man has not taken a risk to send a rocket to the moon, we will still be sitting on a donkey. If he has not taken the courage to try again and again of flying that airplane that was going and crawling in the mud for a long time, he would not have been given us the chance to fly. I have read somewhere that Wright brothers, when they were trying this plane, obviously before them there were few attempts there to do that, but when they were trying, one of the brother was very disheartened, and the other brother, one of the brothers, he came to the brother who was disheartened and he said to him, "Don't worry, brother. I have always and already visualized us flying in that plane already, and it will happen. So don't get disheartened." He already visualized it happening inside the air, sitting in that plane, going in the air for a longer time. This is called the power of visualization, concentration, and then having the courage to do that into action. That gives us the biggest thing in the history of mankind. Since we exist, everything that has been achieved was done with the courageous step. Courageous step means action with courage. That was done. In the next part, the writer says lack of courage. Before that, he was discussing about the presence of courage. Now he's saying if there is a lack of courage, that will destroy your confidence. Because if there is no courage, all the actions we are doing, they are not directed by our mind. They are involuntary actions that we do unintentionally because of our habits. Now, if there is no courage, there is no confidence to do anything. And when we don't have courage, imagine yourself in a situation very fairly, no partiality with yourself. So you're sitting and just, I'm not judging you, I don't know who you are, you don't know anyone is judging you or not. Just critically analyze yourself. That when you don't have courage, you start acting in a cowardly way and you lose a lot of positive actions that you could have done, and you know that yourself. And you are not able to do that. Then at the end, what do? you start blaming luck. This is what the writer is saying. Men like that, who don't have courage and lack confidence, they start blaming luck for anything that they cannot achieve. They start blaming luck. So you have to raise above that level. In the next part, what he says, courage is the will to do. Again, everything comes down to your inner self, the will to do. You have to understand what is courage. Courage is not like just valiantly doing anything. No, it is a will that you develop in yourself, and how strongly you use that will power to do certain actions and to achieve certain target. To do that, you have to do certain small steps again and again and again whenever you are falling and failing behind. So the next part, he said, cowards dissipates both mental and moral forces, therefore inviting failures. The next quotation he says is very, very nice. You should see that. Never let any other opinion, never let any other's opinion to tell you what you can or cannot do. This is a very common thing that we see every day, and we listen from our elders since we are childhood. Never let anyone else to tell you that you can do something or not do. Only tell yourself always. Keep repeating to yourself whatever you want to achieve. Trust me, you will definitely. And I myself is the epitome of that. In myself, I can internally say that I have achieved those things internally in my mind. And I have courage to say certain things to you, in fact, live, that I want this channel to be the best channel that is explaining you the knowledge, not just randomly discussing the name and what this book is all about. I want you to explainable in a way, myself be explainable in a way to you that you will benefit the best possible way, that no one else has gone through that knowledge, explain you in the most easiest possible way. Most easiest and humanly possible way that every human of any level or any education can understand that and absorb that. That's what my goal is in the whole world, and I will achieve that. So I'm not ashamed or afraid of showing that courage, but there should be a fine line between courage and foolishness. You should be in a very reasonable way courageous, and then have a will to visualize that courage and action that you want to perform, and then it will be materialized itself. The writer says, actually you do not know yourself. If you knew yourself, what kind of a machine you are and what you are capable of, you will never even be questioning yourself or even thinking of not achieving something. What you should be doing is, you should be putting yourself to test. Until you test, you don't know your limits. And trust me, 99.999999 and even 9999% of us never test ourselves, because we are so afraid to have the courage to put ourselves to test, even not even to accept. We deliberately degrade ourselves by not putting ourselves to test. So the writer says, you should not allow others to influence your courage. Who are others to tell us that what we can or what we cannot do? They don't know our capacity. If they are not using their will, why should we not? Why shall we not have the courage to do that? We should be the decision makers and converters of our destiny and our fate ourselves. This is within us. We are the epitome and the consequence of our own decisions, our own will. But we let it just slide through that ourselves and give it in the hands of others. How ironic and petty of us. We do not feel pity on ourselves because we feel ashamed of ourselves. And again, we start blaming the fate, the destiny at the end, because we did not take the decision right. The next part is very important. The first word the writer is going to tell you is going to instigate some chills in you. Fear. Fear paralyzes energy that brings success. Fear is the worst enemy we have. We have the fear that shatters our confidence. Fear is the thing that says, if I do this, if I take this step, I might lose, I might stumble down, I might just go down in the pathway. So what? What we don't understand is if we take the actions, we are way ahead in testing even. We are way ahead than other people that people have not even tried. If we don't put ourselves to test, for example, if I want to reach here and I am testing from starting from here, even if I don't reach this level, by trying only I'll be reaching this. And if I'm successful, I will reach this, but if I'm not successful, I am here. So either way, I have grown myself up just because I did not fear in a positive way. Fear does not mean that we should be doing some foolish things. That is the difference of a wise and intellectual person. You have to first calculate, visualize, and then start acting on it. And that is done with courage and with no fear. So, fear is the destructive force that does not allow us to reach our target ever. Most of our potential is dissipated and destroyed because of this bad thought of fear, that feeling that we have in ourselves. This is just a feeling. If we just remove this feeling with the habit of overcoming certain confidence building habit, we will be achieving so many things you can't even imagine. You will be. Take one small step of courage today or tomorrow, but small, not something like blunt that destroys something, means something positive in a courageous way. Try doing that for 10 times, 10 days. You will see a totally new you. The last part of this chapter is courage, like cowardice, is contagious. So if you are surrounded by coward people, you will always be a coward. But contrary to that, again, I have made the best notes for you that I'm sharing with you, that knowledge. If you surround yourself with courageous people, it will be contagious. You will have no choice to adopt it or to give it. If you become courageous, you will spread it around you. But if you're surrounded by coward people, you will somehow absorb that energy. Somehow. So try making your surrounding and your surroundings energies, not energy, energies. Because for example, if you're surrounded by 5 people, 3 people, they are all having different kind of energy. Try to see the energy, try to analyze that energy, and then try to absorb only a level of energy that you want to. Wherever you see a differ from that level of courageous energy, reject it, don't absorb it, but be contagious for the positive and courageous energy. Be contagious. Hopefully that gives us a positive step towards action and plan and thought and concentration and courage and power. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening all the things that I have tried my best to explain you in this podcast, and I will respect your opinions, either positive, negative. Please do help me on improving this podcast, because I am going through every single line of book and going in depth of their meaning to explain you, so you don't just go through the lines, you absorb the meaning of it. I will appreciate your feedback, your likeness, dislikeness, and how I can improve myself and yourself with the help of this podcast. Please give me your feedback. Thank you very much again.